you so much for having me on the show.
Welcome, welcome.
I'm excited
Finally,
to be here, yes.
Finally, I get to see you in person.
Yes.
You know. I always follow your tweets. I'm like, man, you've tweeted again. I check it. Wow.
Well, I hope that you're not disappointed with the person, and I hope that I live up to the name and the troubles that many people think I cause. But, you know, we're just saying the things the way we see it. We may be wrong, you know, we may not be perfect in the things we say, and we may not even, our eyes may not even be as clear as it should be, but we are still trying to say the things that we believe is the truth.
You amaze me so much. Where do you get your courage from? Do you have any sort of ritual you do before you go out for this activism? You know, like for me, I have my rituals I do before I come on sets, you know, to give me the ginger. So I don't know, for some people it's smoking, for some people it's drinking. I know you don't do drugs, but anyway, I don't know.
I don't drink. I've never drank alcohol before in my life. I've never smoked.
Wow.
Never done any drug, you know.
So where does the courage come from?
I think the courage and the energy is just inbuilt. You know, for some of us, we are gradually seeing it as if it's a curse. Because sometimes I'll just tell myself, I'm no longer doing this thing. Because even the people you are doing it for, they don't give a damn. You know, people go and collect money, sell their votes, do all these things. Then you begin to wonder, we're just coming from Oshun now, you know, and the story there is so bad. And people have made up their mind to collect money. You know, and you begin to wonder, why are you even stressing yourself doing all these things? The people you are doing it for don't even give a damn. You know, sometimes I come to the realization that I need to just stop and focus on my personal life and my business and my this. But again, next day I found myself waking up, doing the same thing I said I will not do again. So for some of us, it's gradually, we've come to the conclusion, maybe it's a curse, that God has just cursed us and said that this thing, whenever there's something wrong, you must speak up, or you must say something, or you must tweet something, or you must write something, or you must lead a protest, or you must. So I just find myself doing it. And the courage, it just comes in the fact that no man is God. And those, just check through history. All those who have tried to take the place of God, watch what has happened to them with time. So when leaders are elected into office, or whether they seize power, if they are, in the case that is a military junta, one thing they must always remember is that they are not God and they cannot be God. So this whole attempt of trying to intimidate people and put fear in the mind of people, because only tyrants will tell you that there should be no opposition, or that critics should be in jail, or that critics should live in fear. Only tyrants do that. The beauty of democracy is when the opposition is strengthened and when the voices of critics are very loud. So then we can say that there's a democracy. And like Thomas Jefferson once said, that when the people are afraid of the government, there's tyranny. But when the government is afraid of the people, then there's democracy. So those are some of the things that drive me. Those are some of the passion that, you know, those are my guiding principles, you know, that at every junction in humanity, that people should always have the liberty and the right to speak freely. And that when they see things, or they perceive things not to be going the way that things should go, that they must rise up and speak.
Okay, so there are certain points you just outlined just in one speech, which is absolutely great. You talked about the vote buying in Osun State. We'll get to that much later. But you seem to speak so passionately about tyrants. Are you referring to President Buhari?
You see, let me tell you something. I want to be very emphatic and clear. President Buhari is a tyrant, and I will tell you why. The first reason why I say President Buhari is a tyrant is because only a tyrant will go after the press. The cases are too numerous, from bloggers to journalists to reporters to even editors. You understand? For instance, look at the bureau chief of Daily Independent. What happened to him? Tony Ezimako. Because he did a story on how ransom was paid for Dapchi girls.
Which the UN reported.
Yes, the UN reported it. Several international media organizations reported it. The SSS arrested him, kept him. It took our intervention until we did a press statement, until we started calling the SSS that they should release him. He would not have been released. If not for our intervention, they would have given Tony Ezimako the same treatment they gave Jones Abiri. Look at the story of the Bayelsa State, Bayelsa-born Jones Abiri, because he wrote a story. He did a story. The SSS went to Bayelsa to arrest him. Nobody even knew he was arrested. Kept in prison, SSS custody on underground cell for over 2 years, only for the court to throw out the case yesterday. So you look at these cases, look at the issues of Zakzaki and the Shiites.
Yeah.
You don't need to like Zakzaki as a human being. You don't need to like his face. You don't need to like him. You don't need to like his religion. You don't need to like the God he worships. But Zakzaki is a fellow Nigerian. What has happened to Zakzaki and the Shiites is that fellow Nigerians, their rights have been trampled upon. They've been put beneath the law, and that the country is maltreating them. And look at the justification of the president on national television. How can you justify the killing of 1,000 fellow countrymen and women? How will President Buhari feel if somebody kills his son, Yusuf Buhari, or Zara Buhari? How will he feel? Then come on television to justify it. How will he feel? How can we be in a democracy and we have even if it's a military dictatorship where the president seized governance or the regime through the barrel of a gun, how can he come on national television to justify genocide? How can he come on television to justify mass slaughter and murder? These Shiites were buried in mass graves. The Commission of Inquiry in Zaria, in Kaduna, revealed that the army admitted to burying them in mass graves in Kaduna, in Mando. So when we look at the issues, some people will think maybe because we don't like Buhari or we don't like APC. No. If somebody does this thing to Buhari's children, we will talk. Because it's an aberration. In a democracy, the beauty of democracy is that the majority have their way. But the minority must have their say. It cannot be an oppressive majority that oppresses the minority and say that the minority must not talk. And when the minority talks, they label it either treason or they declare you an enemy of the state, like the way some of us have been declared.
Yeah, you've been arrested a couple of times.
A couple of times.
How many times have you been arrested?
Maybe like 5 under this Buhari regime.
5 times.
5. And trust me, I've honored SSS invitation more than 17. Police invitation more than 9. Even last week, I was still invited by the SSS. They just invite you, say they want to have a chat. It will be programmed in such a way that it's just to intimidate you. But because we've gone used to this over the years, you understand that once we make up your mind on something, it's just like when a man or a woman is in love with a man. No matter what you say about the man, you will tell him he's a cheat, he's a this. She may even catch him cheating. But because she loves him, she will forgive him, she will move on, and their relationship will be back to normal. So it's like that. With conviction, is like that.
So that's the love you have for Nigeria.
Yes, so I am convinced in my mind that this is the right path to go. And I'm just going on that path. So no matter the calls, the invitation, the intimidation, the threatenings, sometimes random people just call my phone. I saw you at so we'll kill you. Those things like that make me laugh. There was one I told one of them, I said, the time you are using to call me to say you kill me, imagine if you had actually used the time to just kill me. You understand? We will not be here having this conversation.
So have the SSS or any of the government security agencies giving you a direct threat? Well,
see, just two or 3 weeks ago, six armed men invaded my house in Abuja. Yes, if a petition was written to the Inspector General of Police, I filed a report. They were wearing police uniform and some SAS uniform. Till today, the police denied that they did not send anybody to my house. The SSS denied that neither were they aware. So who invaded my house? Who came to my house to look for me? So it's a continuous thing. Nation building is way beyond the president or the vice president or the governor or the minister or anybody. It's a collective thing. When you see something wrong, you try to fix it. If it cannot be fixed, you keep shouting until they fix it. If after shouting they refuse to fix it, you still continue shouting. When they refuse to fix it, sometimes just like what Martin Luther King were doing, you block the road so that they can fix it. You create it's called disruption. So you block the road. Once government is inconvenienced and embarrassed, maybe government will come and fix it. And the Gandhi strategy always works too. All what we have engaged upon is non-violence resistance. We come, we protest. Our 3 major approaches. First, we scream. After we finish screaming, they don't listen. We come out, we protest. After we finish protesting, they don't listen. Then we come out again and protest. If they don't listen, we come out again and protest. Then the final thing is we're always willing to sit with the authorities, talk with the authorities. Like, that's why if the police call us, we go. If the SSS call us, we go.
So based on all of your statements, I had to listen very attentively, and most of this information, I never had it before.
Yes.
You know, do you made a statement about in this part of the world,
Yes.
Leaders do not deserve a second term.
Yes.
So based on all of these points you've made,
Yes.
do you think Buhari deserves a second term?
How can he deserve a second term? Even Buhari knows that he does not deserve a second term. He does not. Because you look at, basic things you look at in governance, the indices, the primary responsibility of government is the protection of life and property. Has Buhari been able to protect Nigerians?
They claim
there was insecurity when Buhari took over in 2015. The premise for Buhari taking over in 2015 was because Jonathan had handled the Boko Haram issue very badly. So there was insecurity in the northeast. Instead of Buhari restricting the insecurity in the northeast, Buhari has exported the insecurity now to the northwest with what the bandits are doing in Sokoto, Kebbi, Zamfara. He has exported the insecurity to the north central, which is the heartbeat of the nation, the food basket of the nation. So you discover that what we're witnessing in the north central now, and that's why a food scarcity if it looms in the country. Because you look at all the states in the north central are either threatened or have been attacked by headsmen. Benue. So you see that the next north central is fast becoming an IDP camp. Just like the way the northwest as well.
Yeah.
Because, and in most cases, what these people do is that they attack, displace people, then they occupy the villages. That's what the headsmen are doing. And the security agencies, they are aware. Before someone like DEJI ADEYANJU will come out and say that the armed forces are colluding with the bandits, you know what it took? Do you know what these people have done to them in Taraba? Do you know what they've done to them in Adamawa?
So you're saying that the government is not truly fighting terrorism, but they are now aiding terrorism.
Yes.
Personal gains.
The only explanation why a government can pay Boko Haram ransom is that it wants Boko Haram to continue. Look at what is happening now. Boko Haram, under Jonathan, Boko Haram, they go to attack civilian population. Now Boko Haram, they've been consistent the last 2 months. They've been attacking military formations. They will go and they will kill everybody. The only people that survive are the soldiers that run. And when they go to these barracks, they sack the entire barracks, loot the entire barracks, then leave. How can you give Boko Haram ransom because they kidnap schoolgirls?
So
it means what you are doing. Because now,
reinforcing them.
Yes, because it means if Boko Haram want to kidnap 200 girls today, can you stop them? Can you stop them? So what's the rationale behind they kidnap girls, you pay them, they release the girls, then they go and kidnap girls again tomorrow? Because this right now,
so are you
there are
the
reports on social media that Boko Haram have in their custody a lieutenant general who was abducted. There are so many missing soldiers. So if they can abduct a lieutenant general, is it girls that they cannot kidnap? And Buhari has made Boko Haram to become stronger by funding them. And that was one of the reasons why they arrested Tony Ezimako, because he just simply amplified the report. The United Nations report, the Red Cross report, all the reports are there that these guys have been funded, that this government has paid ransom to them 3 times.
Not even just with the
girls. With the Chibok girls, they paid ransom to them twice.
Was it Buhari or Jonathan?
Buhari. They paid ransom to them twice. With the Dapchi girls, they paid ransom to them. Now they've killed the aid worker. They just killed the aid worker, and they are telling government that they will kill Leah Sharibu if they don't pay. And it's a profitable business. And no team changes a winning strategy. If Ronaldo plays and scores in every match, you must put him in the match.
So in the real
sense, for Boko Haram, this strategy, this is a friendly government. Boko Haram sees this government as their customer. So they are making so much profit. You understand? So Boko Haram and the government, they are in business. They are in cohorts. They are in bed. They are having a fantastic business transaction. So there's no reason why Boko Haram should stop trading.
Because from what you've described, there's an obvious relationship between the people in power and the Boko Haram members.
Obviously.
So why do you think they haven't sort of disseminated? Because if you are negotiating with terrorists, I believe there should be some anchor points. There should be some anchor people. I believe there should be some middle ground. The people that actually do these negotiations. Why can't the government just disseminate them and just end Boko Haram?
You see, the political will is not there. That's number one. Number two, which is the most important thing, is the sincerity is not there. You see, there have been several reports that many of these Boko Haram people who claim that they repented were even absorbed into the Nigerian army, or they were absorbed into the civilian JTF.
So you're saying that even Boko Haram members have infiltrated our military?
Of course, and the civilian JTF, because the civilian JTF is a bank where, go and check, do your findings.
Yeah.
If, let's even assume that they are not in the military, they've not absorbed them into the military, but they absorb them into the civilian JTF. The civilian JTF is a bank. It's a reservoir where they go to pick people that enter the military from. So if you put repentant Boko Haram into the JTF, what are you doing? People that have the ideology of Boko Haram. See, even in civilized countries, when prisoners are released from prison, there's what we call integration.
True.
It's a gradual process. You can't just take somebody because he says he has repented from Boko Haram. Do you know whether it was a strategy by Boko Haram
True.
to infiltrate the army? Do you know?
True.
Do you know whether it was a strategy? Do you know whether it was planned? Just because they said they've repented, that now gives you justification to absorb them into the civilian JTF and give them arms. So there is the political will is not there. That's number one. Number two, the issue of infrastructure. Do you know how much loan this government has taken from China, from the Exim Bank? Now they want to take loan from Japan. This government in 3 years has taken more loans than PDP took in 16 years. And look at the trajectory of the loans that they are taking. Look at what is happening to some of the African countries now that we have, where China is practically almost taking over their countries. You see, a debtor is someone who has not only psychological problem, he also has economic problems, challenges. A debtor, you know, a debtor cannot go and buy a Rolls Royce.
True.
A debtor cannot go and buy a G-Wagon. There are certain things that a debtor must not do because his status does not fit into that. So Nigeria, a debtor nation, there are certain things a debtor nation like Nigeria cannot do. And that when it does it, it is committing economic suicide. And that is the situation that this present government has put us in. You see, this government has failed so much. The only thing that I was expecting that this government will have done is to improve our health sector. Because we have a president that is obviously sick, challenged health-wise. So I had expected that since the president is challenged, instead of considering himself as an embarrassment to the country and having to fly out, do all these things, I expected that the president will have improved our health sector. Even if the president does not improve the health sector generally in the country, at least the Aso Rock Clinic, the president should have brought. And as president, you see, you have unimaginable powers and resources to bring in the best doctors all over the world, the best equipment. The president had no reason, because a president that cannot stop corruption in Aso Rock Clinic is the one you want to stop corruption in the police station that is here. Or is the one that you want him to stop the DPO here from extorting people.
Buhari is incapable of fighting corruption because he's corrupt himself.
Buhari knows himself that he's not capable of fighting corruption.
So do you think Buhari
because
is corrupt?
let me tell you something. The reason why I would say that Buhari is corrupt is very simple. You see, if under him 10 billion naira has been budgeted for the Aso Rock Clinic, and his wife comes and says there's no Panadol in the clinic, it means he's corrupt. That's what it means. If under his watch, the Secretary of the Government of Federation stole money meant for IDPs, money meant for IDPs, and the guy is still roaming up and down, and the guy is still... Babachi Lawal is the campaign coordinator of Buhari Oshibajo campaign in Adamawa State.
Wow.
How can you tell me that Buhari is not corrupt? Buhari is very corrupt. Only corrupt people do such things. And the effrontery with which he does it is even what amazes many of us. How can you say Buhari is not corrupt when his chief of staff, Abba Kyari, was alleged of taking bribe from MTN, and 3 years later, he's still his chief of staff? 3 years later. When his chief of staff, when new revelations have come out again about his chief of staff, that his chief of staff swindled his cousin, and that they were involved in contra-racketeering, and the president has still not sacked him. See, those who come to equity must obviously come with clean hands. Look at the issue of jobs.
Yeah.
National Bureau of Statistics. What are they?
7.9 million
How
jobs lost.
How can an economy, an indebted economy, be losing 7.9 million jobs? And you say Buhari has, because you asked me a question whether Buhari has failed. How can you? So what is the parameters? The parameters for Buhari succeeding is that they are giving people trader money.
Trader money, and a lot of people are saying that's just to buy votes.
It's vote buying.
Yeah.
It's elections are 2 weeks. 2 weeks to election, you go to Osun, you start sharing money in the market. What is that? That is the same thing like what Fawashe did in the night to election. He was crediting people with 3,000 naira. They said that they wanted people to use the money to transport to polling units, and you are owing people with 6 months salary. You didn't pay them 6 months, but you are crediting the account with 3,000 naira a night before election. That is vote buying. It's pure vote buying. But you see, the greatest problem of Nigeria is not really the leaders, it's the people. The people are the real problem of Nigeria. And the reason why I say the people is simple. We just came from Osun, and the people were telling us in Osun that they don't want to hear manifesto, they just want money. They just want which of the party will give them money. It does not matter whether it is PDP or APC. And some people begin to say it's hunger. No, it's not hunger. The people that collected money a few weeks ago in Ekiti election, they are hungry now.
True.
People that collected money in Anambra election, they are hungry now. People that collected money in Ondo, they are hungry now. People that collected money in Edo, they are hungry now. So why we say it's the people is because, like I gave you the example of, let's say a road has pothole here.
Yeah.
Once the people tolerate it, it becomes norm. The reason why advanced countries, why their democracy is dampened is once there's a challenge, people either go to court,
yeah,
or hit the streets.
streets.
So by the time, because when leaders become too comfortable, then they become tyrannical. You know, so basically, I think the people of Nigeria are the problem of Nigeria.
I understand, but because of the leaders are also setting a bad example, the people don't know better. I feel like we have very ignorant people, and that's the reason why they would want to sabotage their future, because of they want to eat. You can't tell a hungry man that, okay, please look at the future will be better when I haven't even eaten today. So I'm not trying to make excuses. Of course, it's totally wrong. But I feel like if the leaders were setting better examples, it's just like what you're already doing, what the Mumu don't do. You are sensitizing the people. It's a gradual process. And by the time, if people know better, they would act better. It's just like there's a scenario of a lion that was being trained like a dog. The lion does not realize that he is a lion or it's a lion, put it in a better way, until he's being trained like a lion. If you train a lion like a dog, the lion will behave like a dog. So I feel like that is the major problem. But let's get straight into the 2019 elections. Already we've seen that, okay, there have been a lot of political mathematics going on. So let's talk about PDP as a party. We have over 12 candidates for the primaries. Who do you think stands a better chance of becoming the flag bearer for the PDP?
Well, you see, most of the people in PDP, they are not different from the people in APC. Let's get that straight first.
Okay.
Just like I told you earlier, the problem of Nigeria is not really about APC, PDP, SDP, CNN, BBC. No, that's not the problem. The problem is the people.
Yeah.
You see, and that's why it's said that the people deserve the kind of government they get. I'll give you an example of Osun.
Yes.
Typical example. Some people said it is hunger. No, it's not hunger. And we even said, one of the strategies we suggested when we just finished in Osun is simple, that even if it is the money you want, if the money is your primary concern, and why I said the problem is with the people is, if the people gather at polling units before election starts, and politicians, either PDP or APC brings money, and they attack the money, go after the Ghana must go, and they distribute and share the money. As they are doing it to the PDP person, the APC person will run with their money.
Well, don't you think the people will be met with forces? Because, of course, the people carrying these monies are being secured by security men.
You see, that brings me again to the issue of the people, that the people are the problem. The people are the problem because if you see a policeman wearing uniform now, committing a crime, the Constitution has given you the power to arrest him. Because if you see, because he's wearing a police uniform, and he's shooting people and killing people, and the people don't mobilize and stop him, then society will come to extinction. So the attempt to share money at polling units,
it's a crime.
It's a crime. It destroys the nation. It destroys democracy. It destroys lives. There's a value. Every vote has a value. It has health value. If they share the money, they will not provide hospitals.
True.
Children will die.
True.
Pregnant women will die. Infant mortality will increase. Issue of polio.
True.
Issue of diseases. It has educational cost. Every vote has educational cost. If they share the money that is meant to build schools, science laboratories, and all these things, the people will suffer. It has economic implications. It has infrastructural implications. It has even psychological implications. So once the people take decide that we've had enough, okay, why do people lynch? Why is there a mob action on someone that steals a cup?
I understand. That's the.
But when the politician that stole the city comes, he's celebrated. Why is that? True. That's why we say it's the people. The fault is a people problem. It's not more, the blame is more with the people than with the leaders. Once a leader realizes that the people will not take this thing
for granted,
if I give them this rubbish, the people will not take it. They will stop giving it.
True.
But the reason why the politicians keep giving it is because the people continue to take it. So the people of Nigeria must, if they've not had enough, then let the suffering continue. But something must give. A time must come when the people will realize and say to themselves that we think we've had enough. It has happened globally.
True.
It happened in Cuba, it happened in Russia, it happened in America, it happened in the United Kingdom, it happened in France, it happened in Italy. So until we get to that point, the breaking point.
The revolution.
Yeah, it mustn't even be a revolution. There must be because we cannot continue to like this. Something must give.
Yeah.
A country where the president steals, the vice president steals, the first ladies, they steals, the governor steals, the minister steals.
A lot of people of the opinion that Professor Yemi Osinbajo is trying, with his recent actions, sacking the DSS boss. What are your thoughts?
Professor Yemi Osinbajo led the vote buying campaign in Osun. He went to distribute money in the market 2 weeks to election. Professor Yemi Osinbajo is part. How can a professor of law
and a pastor,
how can the government you serve in refuse to obey court order and you are still in that government? If it happens to me, I will resign the next day. Some things are more important than money and position. So his integrity, his profession, the ideals that he should represent, they have been brought into disrepute and question. He does not have the locus. He does not have the locus to grandstand or lay claim to any ideology now. Because this Buhari government has unraveled so many people. The so-called professor is a sage of this world. Look at what this Buhari government has done to them. You understand? The Buhari government has really, really unraveled many people.
So you're saying that Professor Osinbajo has joined them in, carrying out corrupt practices?
Professor Osinbajo is one of them. He has not joined them. He's one of them. He's one of them. It's one of the problems of this country. Because if he was not, when government were disobeying court order, and the Attorney General of the Federation, who is a lawyer, said that they will not obey certain court judgments, Professor Yemi Osinbajo should have immediately cautioned him or resigned.
Okay, so let's talk about the PDP primaries.
Yes.
Who do you think would emerge victorious?
Well, the PDP is in a dilemma because it has so many presidential aspirants, I think about 14 or thereabout.
Oh.
Yes, and many of them, ambition is such a very, how do I put it now? It's such a very dicey thing. And you see, good thing about ambition is that ambition is not a crime, just like the way dreaming is not a crime. Anyone can want to serve, but I must point you to an advantage that the PDP has. You see, in 2014, 2015, there was a market which Buhari filled. And before I tell you about the market, I'd like to give you an example. The reasons why many products fail is that before they produce the goods, the producer or the manufacturer does not go into the market first to do a research on the product. So they go and produce something that the people don't need. So the products spoil, they become unsellable, and if your project fails. But a good manufacturer and a good producer will first go to do research about what it's in high demand, then produce those things to meet the demand of the people. Because the law of demand and supply is very simple. You know, so the product will be a success. And in 2015, there was a market, and it was this anti-corruption market.
Yeah.
And the then opposition, being very smart, especially the Ashiwajus and the Sarakis and the Amechis of this world, they quickly saw the market, because all the noise that was being made then was that Jonathan was corrupt, Desani, there was money in NNPC, there was this, there was that. So because there was that market, they went to look for a product that it may not have been incorruptible, but it was perceived then to be a messiah, an incorruptible man, a man that hates corruption, that does this. So they went to bring the perfect product for the market. And that was why when APC presented Buhari, it was successful. Now, there's also a market now.
Which is?
But the market is now different from the anti-corruption market. Now, the name of the market is called Buhari Must Go. That's the name of the market.
Okay.
And you see this Buhari Must Go market, any of the presidential aspirants in the PDP can feel it. Can be a good product for the Buhari Must Go market.
Okay.
But, you know, we are dealing with, you know, if you cannot use the same strategy you used to defeat a lion to defeat a chimpanzee. The man we are dealing with now does not have respect for rule of law. He does not believe in free and fair elections. And that's why you see they've introduced these vote buying strategies. Yeah. And you can see, like my people will tell you that a weekend that will be good is from Wednesday or Thursday, you know. You understand? It's a very simple thing. You can tell how 2019 will look like. From Edo, you can see the trajectory.
So you feel like Buhari will rig 2019 elections?
It's going to be a money election. You can see the trajectory from Edo. Each of the election, money, 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 and it's increasing. The price is increasing. So you can know that the buying and selling of 2019 is going to be out of this world. So the strategy that the opposition should use, very simple. They should put forward their best. Their best.
So who do you think is their best?
Well, I don't know. The ball is in their court. If they like, let them. If they like, they can even present you.
I'll make a great candidate.
Yeah, so if they present you, just like I said, at this point now, the Buhari Must Go market, anybody can defeat Buhari. But
who do you think
after they produce whoever they're producing, all the other aspirants must agree to work with the person. If not, they cannot defeat the president.
Because I actually like that point, because there are some allegations that the Rivers State governor just recently made, saying that the presidency is actually sponsoring some of the PDP presidential candidates.
It's not out of place, and it is very true, because this same president sponsored Sheriff to destroy the PDP from within. And didn't you see at the end of the day, when Sheriff concluded the job, Sheriff received a major hug from the president, and is now back in the president's inner circle. You know, so SNWK is very right. There are the insinuations here and there. Look at Shekarau, who was also one of their presidential aspirants, suddenly joined the APC. So, and that's what I was telling you about. You can't use the same strategy you used to kill a lion to kill a chimpanzee. This government, they can do anything for power. They proved it in all the elections we've had. All the elections we've had to the run-up now to the Osun and now the 2019 election, there has been that level of desperation. Under Jonathan, the opposition lost, the government in power lost almost all the elections. The elections were free and fair. They were not desperate. They were not sharing money at polling units. You understand? They were not using security people to do so many things. And you can see, but the trajectory now that we are witnessing, I can tell you confidently that they will do anything to win Osun. In my mind, I see that, just like what the president said yesterday in Osun, he said must. When the president and commander-in-chief of the country begin to use the word must, the language, his body language is telling the security people, INEC and all the people, that this election should be given to APC. So a president, you know, as president, there's so much responsibility on you. The responsibility on you are so enormous that, you know, there are certain things you should not use. It's just like a president should not be seen as someone that divides the country.
True.
Look at the case of the DG of SSS that was just removed. A man from Bayelsa who still had time.
He had to bring back a retired...
You brought someone who retired 6 months ago, who had already left the service. But because you consider this Bayelsa man as someone that will not be loyal to you, maybe because he does not speak your tribe, and all that.
So you're saying the president is a tribalist?
Obviously, the president knows that he's a tribalist. The president by himself. I, DEJI ADEYANJU, I did not force him to say what he said when he was asked the question in America, where he made reference to 97% versus 5%. The president, by himself, by his words, his actions and inactions, he has suggested that he's a tribalist, you know, and that he loves bigotry, and that, look at most of the things that are going on, nepotism, where the person who is in charge of the INEC, someone who has family links with the president, how then can you guarantee credible elections? Look at what Jonathan did. He went to bring someone that he does not know, Jega, to come and do the election. So the body language of the president suggests that he does not want to leave and that he will do anything to continue in office.
So do you think anybody in the PDP or any other party has the political willpower and the means to actually defeat Buhari come 2019?
There are so many people that can defeat the president. So many. But will the president allow a free and fair election?
Do you think an Atiku can defeat?
Of course. Atiku, Kwankwaso, Tambuwal, the man from Gombe, Nkwambo, Saraki, all these people, David Mark, all of them. There's none of them that cannot defeat him. Just like I tell you, there's a Buhari must go market. And the Buhari must go market is on the premise that people were deceived in 2014. Once they were blind, now they can see. Simple. Buhari was sold as a messiah. He ended up to be China, Abamid. You understand? So there is no way that anybody will look at Buhari. Anybody, there's no Nigerian that you ask about Buhari. The way they perceive Buhari in 2015, 2014 is not the way they're perceiving him now.
True.
People were conned. People were told, do you know the kind of promises Buhari made to Nigerians? You know how these people lied to Nigerians? Look at the issue of the dollar against the naira. Somebody tweeted in 2014 that if Buhari is elected president, that Dubai will become like, that Dubai will not have anything on Nigeria. People, there was nothing that they did not say. But you see, that messianic Buhari, he has been derobed. So we can now see Buhari in all his glory of incompetence, tribalism. If Buhari speaks, the average Nigerian, the feedback, you just ask people. The feedback is, this man is tribalistic. This man does not even know anything about governance. His incompetence is this, is that, is weak, is this, he's sick.
So for the 2019 elections, are you supporting any candidates?
Not at all. Not at all. You know, for me, well,
because a lot of people, you have a great following, and a lot of people might not necessarily know the right candidate to vote, because we all assume they're all the same. So,
you see, for me, I'm not supporting any candidate. If the people want Buhari, they should vote him. If they don't want Buhari, they should vote anybody against Buhari. For me, personally, I will have said that I even want Buhari to come back so that people can have sense.
So are you supporting Buhari?
No, I'm not supporting him. I'm just giving you an example. Why I said that the people are the problem is simple. The reason why I said the people are the problem is we just came back from Osun. Now, from Osun. And people were telling us in Osun that they just want money. That they don't mind about, they don't care about the manifesto, they don't. So I believe that Nigeria, we need to reach the breaking point. Because it's like the people have not suffered enough.
Okay, so come 2019, who would you turn print for?
Well, I don't have any candidates, and I'm not supporting anybody.
So are you saying you wouldn't vote for 2019?
Well, I might vote, I may not vote.
Are you encouraging people not to vote?
No, I'm not encouraging people not to vote. Again, it depends on the candidate that the opposition presents.
The opposition, you mean?
The opposition, whether PDP, whether SDP, whether... I think they
PDP
said... I think
the strongest.
Well, I think they said they have an arrangement called COP. COP, right?
Yes.
Where all of them come together and support one candidate.
Do you think that's arrangement?
That's the right thing for them to do. When you have pockets of candidates here and there, the chances is that you reduce your votes because in your strongholds you divide your votes, and once you divide your votes, you've given Buhari an advantage and an edge. So naturally, I'll be supporting. I'll be hoping that the candidates, the opposition, can all come together, you know, provide a united front and challenge the president.
Owing to what happened with the pact agreement that Showore, Kingsley Mohalo, you know, they had an agreement, and after Fela Duru Toye won, the rest said they're still running.
Yes,
you know.
we were the one that even summoned for the thing in the first place.
So if we
were the people that helped to put the whole thing together.
So if Pact failed, what's the assurance that COP would succeed?
That's the same thing we're saying, that the manner in which Fela Durotoye, consensus was reached for Fela Durotoye was what was the problem. And that's why I'm saying that the opposition, for instance, PDP must have a primaries that will be acceptable to all, free, fair, and credible.
So are you
if
saying
Wike tries to impose anybody on the party is already gone on that. So, for instance, in the pact, there were 18 people. By the end of the day, only 7 people voted. Out of 18, how do you expect Showore to accept the outcome of that kind of an election? Or Mohalu to accept that? Nobody will accept that. But if they had been smooth, talked to everybody, made everybody believe in the process, allowed everybody to vote, you see, the outcome might have been different. But because people were not, it was not properly done, it was rushed. It was haphazardly done. That was why you saw the outcome like that. But so if they get their acts together, you know, and put the thing together and now do the right thing, trust me, and they present a credible candidate, people like us who are, may even be thinking that maybe Buhari should win so that these people can even suffer more, so that
you keep on saying that maybe Buhari should win, maybe Buhari should win. You know the funny thing, when I was researching,
we saw it in France. This thing happened in France.
Because it almost seems like you're now campaigning for Buhari.
Well, if the opposition don't get their acts right, Buhari will win. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. But if they do get their acts right, just like I tell you, there's an open market. There's an open Buhari must go market. Open. You understand?
Yes, I do.
It's for the taking. So if they get their acts right, they will take it. But if they don't, he will win.
All right. Adeyanju DEJI, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And by the way, when are you getting married? A lot of people have been tweeting saying,
married.
Or do you want to have a baby, Mama?
It's a complicated issue.
Okay.
Once again, I want to congratulate Linda, my fantastic sister, the birth of her son. I can't wait for them to come back. I'm going to host them specially.
Fantastic, fantastic. But when are you getting married?
Well. It's a long story. So I always try to keep my private life private.
Okay. Do you want to have a kid?
Well, I already have a son, and he's 7.
Wow, amazing.
You see why I said I like to keep my private life private.
Wow, amazing. Thank you.
So, but let people just keep guessing.
Okay,
you know,
okay.
But
there are lots of female applicants, you know. I'm pretty sure some people tweet at you like, oh my God, you're so courageous. I want a real man like you.
Well, it's a complicated issue. It's just like the issue of this, our economy.
Yes.
It's doing like this, like that. So
okay, it's fine. I wouldn't push it. I wouldn't push that. Also, a lot of people have speculated that there's the reason why you're doing what you're doing is because you have an expected goal. Like at the end of the day, we've seen we've seen the trajectory of activism. You know, Shomole started as an activist. Showore is now contesting for president. So what do we expect that DEJI will do in the nearest future?
You see, many people even thought I was going to run for election in this 2014.
Are you going to
2019? Run? No.
In the future?
No. You see, let me tell you something.
So you never run? Are you telling us you will never run?
The future is pregnant. So let me not say never. But you see, until Nigeria gets to that point, that's why I keep talking about the breaking point. Until Nigeria gets to the breaking point, people like us will never be interested. Because the reason why people like Showore will thinking they can run is he thinks that maybe Nigeria has gotten to that breaking point. But no, Nigeria has not. Showore does not have the money to share at polling units. He does not. So as far as he's concerned, as far as Nigeria is concerned, he's just a time waster, wasting his own time. So until you expect me to run for election and share money for people at polling units, how? How can I live with myself if I do that?
Well, if you get any appointments, would you take it?
I will not take it.
For
instance, let me tell you something. If Buhari gives me an appointment, if I take it, in fact, my children should be ashamed of me. My children, they should be ashamed of me. The community I serve should be ashamed of me.
Okay. But what if the opposition wins?
If the opposition wins, I will not take it.
But you were a former director of the PDP on new media.
Yeah, the reason why I left was because, you see, our ideologies do not agree. You understand? You see, when you are in a ship, and you discover that this ship, the direction that this ship is going, is not the direction. Because I told you that I'm going to Sokoto, but this ship is taking me to Calabar. The right thing for you to do is, if you know you cannot jump into the river because you will die, if you see a canoe coming, get down from the big ship and go into the canoe.
So come to
which is what I did. Immediately I saw that these people, our ideologies are our values, they do not tally. I came down and said the reason why I joined politics was because I wanted to add value.
True.
For me, it was about adding value, principle, ideologies. There are certain things I hold dear. Then I saw people started doing something different. I said, no, this was not the reason. So that was just the reason why I quickly withdrew. And so even if they come back to government, I will not. In case I take the appointment, you can play this video.
So you're telling us that come 2019, whatever government takes over, PDP or APC,
I will never be involved.
Okay.
Never.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, please just keep.
But I just want you to document this video and keep it, so that if I do a Dino Melaye, you understand, that you can play it.
Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, my brother.
DEJI, ladies and gentlemen, please. Thank you so much. How far now? What's good? I actually hope you enjoyed that particular video. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and please comment. Let's know how we can improve this experience for you. And don't forget to download the Linda Ikeji TV app on Android and of course Android Play Store and of course the iOS for Apple users. All right, subscribe to this YouTube channel and please download the Linda Ikeji app to watch full episodes of the Report Card. See, if you do it, I promise you, all the prayers you've been praying in this life will be answered. You understand? I know you want to buy a house. You will wear white and you will wear black when they watch me now. I just see you, but you know they see me. You understand? Because the Lord is telling me, download the Linda Ikeji app so that your life will be all right. Doo-doos. See you guys later.